Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's past Christmas, post-Christmas time, but still in December is like one of my favorite times because I feel like I'm so productive in everything that I like to do, like reading and video games and whatnot. So I wanted to show off what I got books-wise for Christmas. Some of this is things that I bought myself, and some of these were gifts from my parents. So first off, I got The Diabolik by S.J. Kincaid. I've already started reading this, and so far I'm absolutely loving it. On the back it says, the little blurb says, "Have you ever observed a tiger, a true breed like the ones in Chrysanthemum? Not those kitten sorts like the ones in our cloisters. They're all muscle and sinew, with jaws powerful enough to break the strongest man. Yet if you see them stalk prey, if you see them hunt, the sheer strength gives them more grace than the most refined of delicate creatures." That's Nemesis. So that's the blurb says on the back, but from my understanding so far, it's basically about a girl who's like a android type person who is trained to be a protector of the daughter of a senator in this galactic empire, and the daughter is sent to the courts basically to be tried for her father's, I guess, treason, and instead of sending their daughter, the mother decides to send her protector, which is her android. They're called Diabolics. So far, like, I'm only 3 or 4 chapters in, and it's really interesting, and I'm really loving it so far. I actually found out about this book through Reagan from Peruse Project, so yes, I'm absolutely loving this. This is definitely down my alley. The next is a Star Wars book, and it is Star Wars Bloodline by Claudia Gray. From my understanding, this book is about Leia before The Force Awakens, and I'm really interested in reading this book, obviously, because I'm a huge fan of Leia. Obviously, I've loved Leia Organa since when I was 5 years old watching the original the original Star Wars movies. So any book that's like about her, I love it. So I got this. My mom got me this for Christmas, and so I'm really excited to read this. The next book that I got was The Novice by Turan Matharu. I think I'm pronouncing that right. But the back says that, the little blurb says, Fletcher is working as a blacksmith's apprentice when he discovers he has a rare ability to summon demons from another world. Subsequently chased by his village for a crime that he did not commit, Fletcher must travel with his demon Ignitus to an academy for adepts where the gifted are taught the art of summoning. Along with the nobles and commoners, Fletcher endures grueling lessons that will prepare him to serve as a battle mage in the Empire's war against the savage orcs. But sinister forces infect new friendships, and rivalries are formed at the school. With no one but Ignitus by his side, Fletcher must decide where his loyalties lie. As soon as he learns the fate of the Empire is in his hands. And this book already has a sequel called The Inquisition. So I remember seeing this book browsing Barnes & Noble back a while ago, and I saw this book and I was like, oh, this looks really interesting. And I was really pulled in by the cover. I know a lot of people on BookTube don't like people on covers, but I, for some reason, really like when there's like people on covers. I don't know why. I don't. But I don't know, it just really pulled me in. It looks really cool, and I'm really excited to read this because I'm not really a big fantasy type reader. I'm more so like a like more sci-fi-ish. So this will probably be something that can kind of pull me into fantasy a little more. So I'm really excited to read this book. The next book is actually not really mine, but it was given to me to lend. It was lended to me, basically. And it was lended to me by my brother, and it is Star Wars Heroes for a New Hope. It is a collection of stories about Leia, Lando, and Chewbacca from Star Wars, and it is a comic book. So as you can see, comic book, you know, definitely different than a regular book. But it was actually my brother's. He purchased it, and he flew in here for Christmas, and he didn't have enough room to carry it back with him. So he said I could read it for the time being, and then when I was done, I'd just ship it back to him. So I'm definitely going to be reading this because comic books, I mean, I love to read. They're so easy, graphic novels, manga even, and they're so quick for me that like I feel like I'm accomplishing a lot by just reading one comic book. So I'm really excited to read this because also Star Wars, obviously. But yeah. The next book is the second book to the Raven Cycle series, and it is The Dream Thieves by Maggie Stiefvater. And I love the first book, so I'm really excited to read the second one. Like, I zoomed through the first one. And yeah, I just really want to finish this series. Like, honestly, these characters are really starting to like grow on me. At first I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about them, but right now, like, oh boy, yeah, I'm loving it. So I'm really excited to read this. So this is definitely going to be on my top priority for the new year. So, and then the next book is Legacy of the Kings by Eleanor Herman, and it is book 1 of Blood of Gods and Royals. So this book, from my understanding, I just saw this, and this was like $4 at Books A Million. So I bought this for kind of, you know, as a present to myself. But in the inside it says, imagine a time when the gods turn a blind eye to agony of men, when the last of the Hellions roam the plains, and the evil stirs beyond the edges of the map, a time when cities burn and in their ashes empires rise. Alexander, Macedon's 16-year-old heir, is on the brink of discovering his fated role in conquering the known world, but finds himself drawn to a newcomer. Katerina must navigate the dark secrets of court life while keeping her own mission, kill the queen, but she doesn't account for her first love. Jacob will go to unthinkable lengths to win Katerina, even if it means having to compete with Hephaestion, a murderer sheltered by the prince. And far across the sea, Zofia, a Persian princess and Alexander's unmet betrothed, wants to alter her destiny by seeking the famed and deadly spirit eaters. Weaving fantasy with the shocking details of real history, New York Times bestseller author of Sex with Kings, Eleanor Herman reimagines the greatest emperor of the world has ever known, Alexander the Great, in the first book of the Blood of Gods and Royals series. So basically, from my understanding, this seems like a kind of like a fantasy take on like Alexander the Great, and I think this sounds really interesting just because I find like those kinds of figures really interesting. I loved that movie called, I think it was Alexander, with Jared Leto in it, and who was it? Who played Alexander? Was it Russell Crowe, or I don't know. But anyways, probably not. But I find that stuff really interesting. So it's the fact that this has like fantasy in, and I kind of get like a little bit of a Percy Jackson vibe from this. So we'll see. It was $4, definitely worth, I think. I mean, I don't know. It sounds really interesting to me, and I'm really excited to read it. So the last thing that I got, this is the prize of my book haul, because as you probably know, I love Star Wars, as you can see from the books that I hauled in this video. And Star Wars is something to me that's like very special. And when The Force Awakens came out, I went to the movie, or the midnight premiere and everything, and I absolutely love The Force Awakens. And I'm a huge fan of concept art and art in general, but mostly concept art for things that movies and games and stuff that I like. So I caved and bought the art of The Force Awakens, and this book is a behemoth. Like, it's huge. I don't know how I'm gonna like put it on my bookshelf because it doesn't even fit on certain levels. But yeah, I purchased this, and it was $40 at Books A Million. I think it was actually more expensive at one point when it first came out, but like the art is so beautiful, and it's really cool to see the stages of the characters. I mean, they kind of go into detail about Rey and how she kind of started out, what she was looking at, and even Kylo Ren, his getup and his outfit. They had multiple like concept designs for him. So I thought that was really interesting. And even Finn was written to be Caucasian, which is also interesting too, because then they hired, I think they hired what's his name, John Boyega as Finn, and that probably changed. But anyways, this book is awesome. I've already spent time looking through it, and I'm definitely gonna treasure it because it is my baby. So I definitely want to get the Last Jedi art book because that just came out. So hopefully I'll be able to get all of the ones from the new trilogy, just because I'm a collector and I collect things. So yeah, my cat is like having a ball with his little toy right now. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this haul. I will see you guys in another video soon. Goodbye.